Welcome to Fundamentals of Digital Accessibility for Instructors, or FUNDAY. This online workshop has been designed to provide you with a working knowledge of accessible digital design concepts as they apply to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and our learning management system, Sakai. By the end of this workshop, you'll be ready to begin creating accessible digital learning content. So, what does it mean to have accessible digital learning content? Well, if you think about the content you post in Sakai, all of your documents, presentations, videos, hyperlinks, and more, there's a student on the other end who's taking in and learning from all of that material. However, you might not always know how that student is accessing the content. The student might be using a new computer or maybe an older computer, maybe a slower internet connection, a mobile device, or perhaps assistive technology. Assistive technology is any equipment or product that's used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities of a person with a disability. It's technology that a student with a disability might use to perform tasks on the computer, such as a visually impaired student using a screen reader to voice synthesize all of the text on screen, or a refreshable braille display to convert all of the text on screen to braille. It could be a modified keyboard, a pointer, or a sip and puff device that allows a mobility impaired student to input commands into the computer. A student with a hearing impairment and a cochlear implant might rely on a connection from the computer to the implant's sound processor to amplify the sound. So, accessible learning content is computer and internet content that is available to all students, regardless of the device or computer in which an individual student might use to interact with it. That sounds pretty reasonable, right? As educators, we want our content to be available to all of our learners. This idea is akin to the universal design that we see all around us in the non-digital world. You know, those dual water fountains, automatic door openers, curb cuts, and stair ramps. They were designed for and are most helpful to people who must use wheelchairs. However, these modifications are so integrated into the landscape that they have become unquestionably universal. For example, people not quite tall enough to reach the taller water fountain use the shorter one. People carrying boxes and unable to manually open a door use the automatic door opener. People pushing strollers and needing to cross the street use curb cuts. And people pushing dollies and needing to bypass the stairs to get into a building use stair ramps. In one way or another, more people than just the group for which they were originally intended find these modifications useful. This concept of universal design is applicable to your digital learning content. That's what making it accessible is all about. All of your students will be able to access your content regardless of the tool in which they use to do it, and regardless of whether or not they have a disability. This universal access is what the North Carolina Community College system wants as well. In 2014, the system sent a memo to all 58 community college presidents to bring digital accessibility to their attention. Since then, Durham Tech and our sister community colleges have worked toward implementing digital accessibility plans that will help ensure our digital content is accessible. Aside from the learning benefits, accessibility also has roots in several United States laws, including Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. These laws were created to forbid discrimination of individuals based on disability. They highlight the many ways that institutions must provide equal access, which includes ensuring access to online and digital content. Because Durham Tech receives federal funds through financial aid and other federal programs, we're obligated to follow these laws. But the truth is, it's the right thing to do. Now that more and more students are taking online and hybrid classes, and most of our instructors use our learning management system, it's important that the materials and content we post there are accessible. An international community known as the World Wide Web Consortium developed a set of guidelines and techniques that we're following. These guidelines are known as the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1 or WCAG 2.1. In this workshop, we won't delve deeply into all of the guidelines, but all of the design principles and techniques presented are based on meeting WCAG 2.1 Level AA compliance. If you're interested in learning more about which guidelines are covered in this course, please download the WCAG 2.1 document located in the orientation module. We have also adapted the applicable guidelines into useful digital accessibility checklists that you'll receive throughout the workshop. We're glad you're here, and we're looking forward to your participation in this course. When you're ready, click Syllabus on the course menu to learn more about the workshop expectations, and I'll see you again at the end of the workshop.